Another technical difficulty, which always, always, for whatever reason, happens every time we do the show. But it makes for a great, interesting intro, right? Hello, everybody. I am excited. I'm telling you, I am literally excited to have this special edition of Live at the Emporium today. And for all those who may have not seen the advertising, the promo, the flyers, all those things that we do to try to get the word out when it comes to our upcoming show, this is Live at the Emporium. For those who just tuned in and you're going, what the hell am I watching? Okay, so for those who are watching, you know why I'm excited? Look at the title. If you're a Filipino brand, that applies to you. It says right there, Dear Filipino Brands, your Amazon customers are waiting for you. Literally, that is the most simple, most straightforward, intro or headline I can come up with. And I'm excited to have this next gentleman here, this gentleman that's going to be talking to us today, teaching us amazing things about Amazon, things that I've never heard of or never thought about. And he's going to show us why I think a lot of Philippine brands are leaving a lot of money on the table, so to speak. And he's going to talk from a perspective of what he's seen that's worked for a lot of Asian brands, not just Filipino brands. So he's here because he wants to see Filipino brands uplifted. And that's what makes me excited, because I'm excited because we found another way to sell Philippine-made products in the U.S. market. So with that being said, I want you all to just sit back, listen carefully to this gentleman, because he's going to be expounding some amazing nuggets of wisdom when it comes to Amazon. And on top of that, all I really wanted to tell you was that what's important to me is that you guys are fully aware of what the show is about. What we do here is we create awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products. And today we are leveling it up a notch, because we're going to come up with a lot of interesting facts about Amazon, the potential for Philippine-made products. So with that being said, I just have to do a quick intro. You are now watching Live at the Emporium. Live in Emporium in the Philippines. I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat, and for the people in the US watching this live at the Emporium, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to at least check it out. Check us out. Emporium is a unique US base, the first of its kind. Okay, the first of its kind. It's a Philippine-made and inspired product showroom and global business center, and its purpose is to create awareness as well as sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. And Emporium is actually a physical place. Like I said, that's where I'm at right now. It's located at 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, number 602 in Los Angeles, California. So if you want to come and visit, please do so. We welcome you. Just go ahead and let us know when you're coming. Thank you. But what the Live Emporium is, this is one of the tools that we use to create the awareness, the sales opportunities by people watching, and hopefully organically, or what we're doing on social media is reaching other people. And I think it is. At the end of the day, what we want is that awareness creation. Okay, so that's what Live at the Emporium is. And today it is packed full of amazing stuff. Hey guys, I am back. Did you like that introduction? Anyway, thank you so much for watching Live at the Emporium. This is what we call the special edition that we're doing. So I'm excited that all of you guys decided to tune in. We love your support. And speaking of support, if you are currently watching us, if you are in the Philippines right now, I want to say hello to you and tell you, please let me know where you're watching in the Philippines, what province. And if you have a company that you're trying to promote, would love to have you, put it into the chat. I go ahead and post it up there, say hello to you, and give you some, thumbs up or emojis or whatever you want, just so that we can go ahead and promote everybody on the show. And if you're in the U.S. right now, it's 7:10 here in the U.S., And I know in the Philippines it's about 10 o'clock. So if you're in the US, please, I'd love for you to tell me where you're watching. If you represent an organization, I also want you to go ahead and let me know who that is. So I welcome all of you that are watching right now. Go ahead and let me know where you guys are watching, whether in the Philippines or here, okay? So as I said at the top of the hour, I said to you that I'm excited every show, because each show we discover either a professional that's doing sort of the same thing we're doing, having the same mindset and trying to create information about Philippine-made products, or rather promoting it, right? So today is no different. We found another way. This time we're talking about Amazon, his amazing journey into that world and trying to promote different types of product. Now he has a heart. He has a heart for Philippines. So he really he wants to go ahead and make sure the Philippines gets to that level of awareness and sales opportunity in the e-commerce platform, that juggernaut of an e-commerce platform that we call here in the US called Amazon. So before we get to our only and main, and all we really need is just this one guy, let's go ahead and take a quick break and let's hear it from one of the sponsors that we have and one of the clients that we have at Emporium. The name of the brand is called Terra Philippines. Whoever made that video, that's just really gets you going, being laid back. Anyway, I want to say hello to Portia Mangilit of Terra Philippines. She was here a few months back. We continue to want to promote her products because they're amazing. As you can see, that's Terra Philippines. It's made out of a coconut coir, and then leather, and it's very eco-friendly. So I want to say hello. Hello, Portia. Thank you so much again for watching, and then we continue to promote the product. All right. This is it. So if you're watching me right now and you're tuned in because you want to know all about Amazon, you want to know numbers, not just hot air, numbers that you could rely on if you decide you want to bring products here from the Philippines into the Amazon. So I couldn't think of any other person. I mean, we have a network of people that helps us out. He's one of those people that we feel that could be a key or a component to a lot of Philippine manufacturers wanting to be in the U.S. market. So without further delay, let me go ahead and give you an introduction. He is the founder of Bench Trading Post Inc. He established in 2016. He specializes in selling imported specialty food products and various consumer items. Ed excels in Amazon FBA operations. His expertise lies in product research, inventory management, and utilizing software tools to optimize business strategies. With a background in B2B procurement, logistics, and sales, Ed ensures seamless operations and exceptional customer service. His hands-on approach and leadership have made Bench Trading Post Inc. a success in the very competitive e-commerce landscape. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring up Mr. Ed Santos. Mr. Ed Santos, was that cool or what?
Oh, that was pretty cool, Ferdinand. Thank you for the intro. Hello, everyone from the Philippines or here in the U.S. Welcome to Live Emporium.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Like I was telling you, just a quick banter before we go. You and I have been working on this for a couple of months now, trying to get this thing going. And I just want to give everybody like a background, a backstory that, again, we both connected through social media. I saw what you were doing. You saw what I was doing. And I said to myself, I guess I'm putting it out there in the universe that I'm actually, getting through to a lot of people. So a lot of people are coming together with me and trying to promote Philippine made products, because not only because maybe I believe in, all of that, right? The divine being putting people in front of you, but in the same token, it's great timing because of everything that's happening with Filipinos, whether it be celebrities, entertainment industry, politics or sports figures, all of that about cuisine, all of that's happening. So I think this is very just timely, and I'm excited to have you here. So with that being said, let's go get right into all your story, and I'm going to leave the mic to you, my friend. So You're up.
Thanks, Ferdinand. Again, hello to everyone. Thanks for being here. I just want to say thank you to Ferdinand. Like he said, the universe brought us together, or sometimes I think it might not be the universe, it might be the algorithm of all the social media and just the internet as a whole. But either way, we'll put that on the side. I just want to introduce myself. Again, my name is Ed Santos. I'm a business owner from California. My wife and I started our business back in 2016. We together with her, we operate a six-figure third-party retail store using Amazon's marketplace. So how I would describe Amazon would be a regular retail store with no physical barriers. So anyone that has an internet service, access to the internet, can buy and sell in Amazon's marketplace. So my wife and I discovered Amazon again back in 2016, and then fast forward, we have sold over millions of products. We sell a lot of consumables. We sell a lot of imported products. Over here in the US, I think they call it ethnic groceries or ethnic products. So we sell a lot of products from the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, China, Korea, Japan, and other Southeast Asian countries. So what we do pretty much is just for example is I myself I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 18, and so the internet was young when I came here. But what would happen was the access for me to buy products from the Philippines, imported products, would be very limited because I have to go to a local store. And so imagine that now for just for example, Filipinos living here in the US, where they don't have any Asian store close by and they really want some specialty food, some Philippine brands, the classic brands, but they don't have access to it. And so our store carries a lot of those brands. So our other Filipino colleagues from other places here in the US that don't have access to it are able to buy their favorite Filipino products straight from Amazon, delivered to their home. So whether it's snowing, it's hailing, there's a bunch of rain, or it's just like triple digit heat, there's no problem. Amazon will deliver it right to your door. Also, I'm currently exploring to find a partnership because what I envision is I want to start a brand of a Filipino-inspired flavors, but with a little differentiation. And that differentiation is I want organic products and non-GMO ingredients. And so that's what I'm actively working on. And lastly, I specialize in analyzing brands and basically how to maximize profitability and its discoverability. And Amazon's pretty much the number one tool for discoverability other than Google, and dominate the category and, of course, ensure sustainable growth.
I always put it on mute for whatever reason. I guess subconsciously I'm thinking, I don't want to say anything. What I was going to say, Ed, was that, when we first talked, that's what made me, I'm so amazed with what you do. I mean, I know that there's a lot of other people do it because people who are watching right now, well, you've seen a lot of people do this already or whatever. It's true. But I feel that what you bring to the table is because, at Amazon, there's so many different products. It's come to the point now where you need to pay special attention to certain other products, whether specialization in Southeast Asian, products like the Philippines and Thailand, that's what made me want to work with you, or for me to go ahead and reach out and say, hey, man, can you, let's give the Filipino brand some ideas on how to get here, because at the end of the day, when you're saying earlier, sort of old school or back in the day kind of a thing, my thing all the time is back in the day, my thought process and when I did Emporium was I felt like, when my dad first came here, he didn't know anyone, nobody promised him anything, but he had people here where to guide him, where to go, how to sell it. And you're doing sort of the same with a lot of Filipino products. You're not saying you're guaranteeing this, this, and this, but hey, bro, at the end of the day, this is what I'm doing, and look, this is what I've done. Now, whether you go with me or take my advice, I'm just telling you this is what I found in trying to promote Philippine products in a platform like Amazon, right?
Yeah. I would just use the word tricky because what's happening sometimes, and I'm just gonna base it on my personal experience. What I see online is there's a lot of quote unquote guru tell you how to do this, do that, and
Mm-hmm.
there might be a fee, there might be no fee. But again, it just goes back. At the end of the day, you don't know if they're a live person. Do you have access to them, and do they really know what they're talking about? I'm pretty
Correct.
much an open book. Anyone can ask me anything. I'm not an expert consultant. I'll share with you everything I know. But again, I'm just here to like really like hopefully bring the level of our craftsmanship and level, especially our flavors, because they love our flavors here. But I think it's just a matter of again discoverability,
Correct.
access, and you know this one, marketing. There you go.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And that's why I'm saying to you at the end of the day, you're bringing to the table that knowledge. And again, forget that you're an expert stuff, right? People can find out more about you. That's why with me, I'm not a big fan of talking about this, and that. You guys want to research me? Go for it because you're going to do it anyway. Go ahead and do the same thing with, with what we're doing here. Do the same thing with what with Ed because the proof is in the pudding. He'll explain it to you what we mean by that. And by the way, before we go on to our break, don't go away because in the last part of our show, we're going to make an offer to Filipino brands. Okay, don't go away because that's going to be important. So if you're watching us right now and you're a Filipino manufacturers, stay tuned and you're like tuned out, you're going to miss out. So if you want to go out again and come back, completely up to you. But at the end of the day, you need to come back. So before we go into our next segment, let me go ahead and take a quick break. Let's hear a little bit about one of our sponsors, Bayani Pay.
Libre remittance at mataas na exchange rate? With Bayani Pay, mas secure na, mas mura pa! Ang Bayani Pay ay bank-to-bank transfer na walang middleman kaya mas maaasahan. Sa registration, kailangan lang mag-scan ng ID at mag-selfie para sure na ikaw talaga yan. At pag nag-connect ka na ng bank account, huwag kang mag-alala dahil di namin ini-store ang bank details mo. Sigurado na darating ang remittance mo dahil kumpleto ang information ng iyong recipient. Remit na with Bayani Pay!
I love different types of music and I love the Bayani Pay music too. So I'm good with that. Hey, I want to let you know again, thank you so much for watching Live at the Emporium. I have more extra energy because I'm so excited about the topic that we're doing. Because again, we found another professional. We found another way to help Philippine-made products. And every time I come up, or we come up, or my whole collective come up with different way to promote Philippine-made products, it's amazing because hopefully that gives our company value and gives a lot of value to you, the Philippine manufacturers. So if you don't know what the heck you're watching Live at the Emporium special edition with Ed Santos, Amazon specialist and Philippine product advocate. Okay, but he's more than that. He's kind of humble. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get back to, so far we've talked about who he is, what he knows about Amazon to a certain degree, and now he's going to talk a little bit more about it. But now he's also, he was talking about his background, but now he's going to talk a little bit more about what he does with Amazon, how he promotes products. So let me go ahead and bring him back. Here's Ed Santos of Bench Trading Post. Hey, Mr. Santos, how are you, man?
Hey guys, welcome back.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm going to leave you alone. I promise you that when we do this, it's all you after I do the quick intro. So now it's all you.
All right, let's do the first slide here. I want to show our audience something. And as the slide says, do you want a slice of $514 billion? Let me see you raise your hands. I do want a slice. That's why I'm selling in Amazon. Next slide, please. All right, and this is the opportunity. Amazon retail, and I'm just talking about here in the US, one country, because they're in a bunch of other countries, dozens. They're in the UK, they're in Japan, they're in Mexico, they're in Canada. But like just here in the US, they made the revenue that they made just for their marketplace, selling products online is $514 billion. That's a lot. And just to give you some idea how big $514 billion is, that's 40% of the US e-commerce marketplace. And that's a lot. And so if you think about it, for almost every like, I'd call it like $10, $4 goes to Amazon. And that's massive. And so let's take a look at the next slide. Here we go. Now, it's really big because 148 million Amazon Prime subscribers here in the US, again, just here in the US, spends an average of $1,000 every month on Amazon. I know, I think I'm going to be guilty here, but like, I think I spent more than that just for the whole year. I think Ferdinand might be guilty of this one too, but it's just so easy because their program and the accessibility to a lot of products is just very massive. So like, for example, you want something in particular, like something that you can only buy in a hardware store, but this one is very special. It's like something in your furniture broke, right? You go to A hardware store, you can't find it. You go to B hardware store, you can't. It's out of stock. Well, guess what? Guess who has it? Amazon would probably most likely have it. Plus, they'll deliver it in 2 days, and sometimes the same day, or sometimes it's overnight. So it's very, very very convenient to shop in their marketplace. So just to continue, Amazon is the #1 shopping search engine in the US. And so what I mean by that is, of course, like, people would still go on their phones, right, and click on go to Google or Bing, whatever search engine they use, and they search for the product name. Well, guess what comes on page 1 of Google? The first actual link is probably like 9 out of 10 times would be an Amazon link to that product. And so if a consumer wants to know more about the product, here's some reviews, and they want to see the product and all the information about the product in one page, one source, Amazon's the source for them. That's why it's the #1 shopping search engine. And just to cap that off, 9 out of 10 of US shoppers check Amazon's prices before making buying decisions. And that includes me. And that probably includes Ferdinand and his household too. And a lot of people I know. And that's just how massive the opportunity is. And so let's see the next slide here. So to give you an idea, to cap this off, we're talking about numbers. Each second, Amazon makes $4,722 in sales. Each minute, that's $283,000. And each hour, they make $17 million per hour. And so that's very big. And so I think from this slide, let's move on to the next slide here. Okay. Before we talk about this, I just want to cap that conversation about the data and the numbers, because this is a side note. I don't think a lot of people understand and know that you can sell in Amazon's marketplace without a lot of necessary paperwork. They will ask for paperwork, and I'll be more than happy to share that with you. And it's available on their website too. But the reason I want to say this early is because I myself try to sell in Lazada, and I shared this with Ferdinand. There was a lot of hoops that I have to go through just to sell there, and it wasn't feasible for my business anymore just to start selling in Lazada. And I think I looked at Shopee as well, and same situation. But Amazon, it's very, very easy to conduct business and start a business there. Okay, so Ferdinand, are we still good on time, or? I think you might be on mute, Ferdinand.
I am always on mute because I am always saying to myself, Ed should just be the only one who should be talking because he's got the most important things to say. I don't really have anything. I was hoping that somebody could read my lips. So I'm okay now. I don't want to get into our next segment and spoil that. So are you okay? Go ahead and continue this part of it because I want them to know before we go to the next segment, and just let me know when you're done.
Yeah. So this is the reason why we wanted to do this show, because we believe a bunch of Filipino brands and manufacturers from the Philippines should sell here, because a lot of the brands that are being sold here, and all of them are here. That you have the examples here on one side, and the reason that we need you here is because these big brands, I like them all. I eat all of their stuff, but they're not taking advantage of the opportunity. And as we go along, I'll share with you what that opportunity is. But so that, like what Ferdinand said earlier, they're leaving a lot of money on the table. And I'll give you an example. KSK Foods, I think this is Boy Bawang. Liwayway Marketing, I think it's a bunch of snacks and chips from the Philippines. Monde MY San, I think this is Skyflakes. Regent, I think some more chips or like a snack. Nutri Asia, I think this is your Dato Puti. Silver Swan, soy sauce and sauces. Monde Nissin is your Lucky Me, all the other noodles. I sell a bunch of their products, and they are selling here. The problem is, what's going on is they've never rethought their marketing, because Amazon is a worldwide marketplace. So you have to appeal to a worldwide audience. There's nothing wrong if your flavor is specific or like a certain demographic likes your flavor. There's nothing wrong with that. But what's wrong is if you concentrate on that demographic too much, that you're not going to attract and create curiosity to other possible demographics that might actually enjoy your product just because they have a I'll call it a worldwide palette. And so that's what's going on here. A lot of opportunities being left on the table because the products that are coming from the Philippines, from these big brands, are really, I would say, geared towards like Filipinos. Again, nothing's wrong with that. But if I had a brand this big, I would consider marketing it and selling it to other demographics and other customers, because I want more revenue. I want more. I want a bigger slice in the Amazon marketplace. Yeah. And so is this our last slide here? I might be on mute again.
I said that could be our last slide.
Okay,
but is that the last slide?
I think for that segment, yeah.
Okay. So let's recap what you just said. Regarding that, all of these brands that you're mentioning, KSK, Liwayway, Monde, you made a good point. Because at the end of the day, I feel that when I go to the typical Filipino market, right? When I go to the 99 Ranch, 99. 99 Ranch is not a Filipino market. Island Pacific, it's an Asian market, the 99. Island Pacific and Seafood City. Yeah. That's fine and great. It sells it, right? But there's got to be, another way that I feel like some products, it's not about just sending to the Filipinos and counting on them because they know your brand and you want to just sell to them. Even though technically, Filipinos are over 4 million in terms of throughout the United States, right? But I feel like some of the products, they need to go out of their comfort zone or be marketed a certain way. I'm even actually working with a consolidator right now who I'm trying to convince that let's bring the Filipino products outside of the Filipino community also. Let's pick the ones that are really amazing, the ones who are really committed to expanding, like you said, Ed.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And if a certain brand has their set ways and they have a particular strategy, I respect that. That's not my place. But if other brands do want to explore introducing their brand to a way bigger audience, like you said, like we still have a good presence here in the US, but like if you were a brand, wouldn't you want to grow to other
Yeah, no. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like you if you want to get a bigger piece of the pie, you're here. This is the best place to do that. I mean, the pie is huge, So to me, I just feel like you just need to tweak a little bit because the demographics or the people that are consumers here have varying palates for different types of food, but they're not to say that they're not going to like it. You just even just the packaging. I mean, we can talk a little bit about that later, but I want to segue into our next segment, which that's where you really get down and dirty, okay, so to speak, and really show people the proof of why what you're saying is what it is, and a lot of people should take heed of that and understand that. There are a lot of Philippine brands that are amazing in the Philippines. I'll say it, Ed. I'll say it. I'll be rude. I'll be rude right here. That it's not going to make it here in the U.S. It's not because it's not good, but you're just not looking at it from the perspective of a U.S. consumer, and that U.S. consumer is very complex. Right? If you want to go after just the Filipino market, go for it, just like Ed said. But if you want to go beyond that, and you should, because your product is about sharing good stuff. It doesn't matter who consume it, right? People who just maybe want to experience something new. So with that being said, I'm going to go into our next segment. But before we go into our next segment, let's go back into introduce one of our sponsors again also. It's RAF, RAF. They're a freight forwarding company based in the Philippines. So if you're watching here in the U.S. and you're interested in bringing products here from the Philippines, these are the people that you want to talk to. They're based there. They're amazing. They can get the products from point A to point B. So I'm going to introduce you to them soon, Ed. But for now, let's go ahead and check out their infomercial or their commercial. And we're back. For those who have never seen a segment of Emporium, you're watching Live at the Emporium Special Edition. And what we do here is we are a U.S.-based, Philippine-made, and inspired product showroom and global business center. And our purpose, our existence, this huge task is to create awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products. And we here are again because we're here because we're excited to introduce hopefully a new collaboration. Because we found another way to promote Philippine-made products. That is something that you guys, the Philippine manufacturers, when I say you guys, the Philippine manufacturers should pay attention to right now. Because what he's saying to you is golden in many ways, okay? He's not boasting. He's just telling you what he's learned and what he's learned to grow, to make a living, but also make a lot of, make a good amount of money for the companies that he's worked for and for the brands that he's represented. So please stay tuned and continue to watch. So let me go ahead and bring back Mr. Ed Santos of Bench Trading Post. Hey, Ed.
Hey, everyone. Hey,
All right, man. So I'm going to let you continue the third segment. Again, everyone, this is Ed Santos from Bench Trading Post. He is a Philippine product advocate as well as an Amazon specialist.
All right, let's bring up that slide, Ferdinand. I think we stopped on, there we go. Let's go to the next one. All right, so like what I said, all these big brands, as good as they are, as yummy as they are leaving money on the table. Well, guess what? Who's gonna pick it up? I'm gonna pick it up. I think all of you should pick it up too. And they're not leaving crumbs. They're leaving big blocks of opportunity. Because like what this slide says, they don't pay attention to the current demands of American customers. And this, I'll translate it to this. All right. So like what I said, I'm an immigrant. I moved here when I was 18. I now have a family, and I don't know what generation I am. I would call my kids first generation because I wasn't born here. My kids were born here. But guess what? They like a bunch of Filipino flavors. They like a bunch of Filipino cuisines. So all of that, they're used to it. They love, my son loves ube. My daughter loves, what does she like? She likes the pancit canton. They like adobo, all of that. They love it. Even my wife, she's not Filipino, but she likes the nagaraya, like the adobo flavor. But what I mean by that is, a lot of non-Filipino Philippine, like a lot of people here that weren't born from the Philippines still love all these Filipino flavors. But what's happening is this: the modern consumer, the current consumers here in Amazon, most of them, they are label conscious, and what's going on is, like, imagine yourself and you're just trying to buy a product online. You can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it. Well, how in the world can you convince someone or me to buy your good product, saying it's yummy and all of that, when your product looks kind of I don't know if this is even a clean product or a good product. All right, unless you know the brand. And so that's what's happening. A lot of the older generation Filipinos, they introduce the Filipino flavors to a lot of the younger generation here. So they like it, but a lot of them too have special diet lifestyles that they choose, or restrictions. So it means that they want like gluten free, or they want organic, non-GMO ingredients. And I can't imagine any brand that offers it here. And so that's a big segment that is being underserved by a lot of like Philippine-made brands. And so I think a good amount of brands in the Philippines can really fill a lot of the gaps that these the big Philippine brands that already are selling here, the ones that they're leaving behind. And so to cap this off, the more opportunity they're leaving, the bigger opportunity it is for anyone that wants to take over their category. And when I say category, for example, noodles, okay? And we might pull up an example here. Noodles, Lucky Me. That's very popular. I like it. But like, there's a brand here, and I think it's Mi Goreng. But their packaging is superior to our packaging. I think ours tastes better, but you know what? They're able to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue every month. That's monthly, okay? Because they have better packaging and just better marketing, and they have a better presence in Amazon. But Lucky Me, they're very, very far. They're very far left behind. Comparing the revenue and just the amount of business they get. And so let's take a sneak peek on the next slide, Ferdinand. All right, so here's the challenge. Let's see the challenge. All right, so in my opinion, in order for a product to be able to compete here and really like stay on top and dominate, these products need to be e-commerce retail ready or quantified. So let's break that up. When I say ready, it means that it's for example, a lot of products that I see here from the Philippines, they're all case packed. All right, so they're case of 12, and that's fine. But the thing with Amazon is that they sell individual pieces. So for example, I want to buy some Jufran or UFC ketchup, right? Usually in the grocery, they'll be on the aisle, and then I can just get one, this and that. But in Amazon, if you buy that in Amazon, it has to be bubble wrap or boxed, because it's gonna go through a very, very probably like a $50,000 conveyor belt. And so if something drops and all of that, it needs to be protected. So those are a few of the other conditions that Amazon asks sellers do to protect their product. So it gets delivered to the customer in one piece. All right. And so I know that's not applicable to a lot of things, but it needs to be retail ready. The reason I put quantified here is that if you're going to introduce, or if you're going to set a price, your online price in Amazon, you need to do that math, because sometimes bubble wrap and all the packaging boxes especially cost a lot of money. So you need to put that into consideration. The next one is that your Amazon retail price should be very close to brick and mortar. And this is very, very like a sensitive topic these days, but that's for another segment. But ideally, you want it close to a brick and mortar price, because guess what? Okay, if I live here, Okay, and I need again I need that UFC that banana ketchup. Okay, but I'm like 10 miles, or like I'm about like about an hour away from the closest Asian store or grocery store that carries that. Am I gonna drive an hour just to because I just need one bottle of ketchup, or am I just gonna order from Amazon where it's like it's not that much of a difference if it's not even like the same price? All right, so you really need to make a compelling um, marketing, or you need to compel your customer. Hey, just buy here, buy my product. It's available online. You'll have it in a day or two, probably even same day instead of driving an hour or longer. So that's the reason for that. The next one would be again, going back to product packaging. It should be competitive. It should feel nice. It shouldn't feel cheap. And I'm not saying that that like that reflects all Philippine brands. But again, I'm just gonna go back on that noodle example. It's just you can feel the packaging is really not up to par. It's good for the shelf, but it's not good for being sold through e-commerce. Another one, this is another big one, manufacturing certifications, all of that. If your product would need like a lab inspection, or you have a chemical, for example, one of the bags that Ferdinand, if Amazon's going to require some documentation or some testing to make sure it's a safe product, that needs to be readily available. And there's a bunch, but these are just like the big ones that, in my opinion, would be nice to like check off your list if you want to launch a product here. Last one would be if you're selling a consumable or a food product, the shelf life should be ideally 10 to 12 months minimum, because like I think freight transit time would be 30 days at least. I'm not a freight expert, so that would be the reason. You're on mute again.
I said at least that because that is how long it usually takes. So that eats up on the shelf life. That's money. So anyway, getting back to you, my friend.
Yeah. And so let's see the next slide here. And here you go. Let me go back to this topic again. By the way, I told you already, I didn't forget to tell you, you don't need to be a US citizen or resident to sell in Amazon. Thousands of non-citizens are making millions of dollars every year. And I'm talking about Australians, Europeans, even like a lot of Chinese-based manufacturers are selling here in Amazon, direct to Amazon, and they are making a lot of money. They're making so much money that a lot of US-based brands here that are competing with them are being very threatened in their business, because they're able to like straight from, imagine like if you're competing against a factory, the factories who you're buying your product from, and you're repackaging it and then reselling it here. But imagine that same factory selling direct and straight to your own customers. So that's kind of like what's happening. But again, you don't need to be a citizen or resident, and we can help you here on what it's going to take for you to be able to actively sell in the marketplace. Next slide, please. Oh, all right. Let's back this up. Let's go back to the other slide. Well, yeah. All right. We will show you that in just a minute. I do want to make. Do we still have time, Ferdinand? Is it still good?
We still have some time, because I think the meat of your talk here is really about what you're about to show. But I don't want to miss out. So if people are watching it right now, I want them to stick around, because there's an offer that we would like to make for all the Philippine manufacturers. And also, I want to say hello to Sean. Hey, Sean, thank you so much for watching. Sean actually has a question that maybe you can answer after you go ahead and after you show what you're about to show, because I want, now that you sort of set up the whole thing, talking about the opportunities, now talking about specific products, let's show some examples of what you're talking about in real time, right? So go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. So if we can just park the slide here out for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I mean, you could take out that slide, that last one that you have, and just show the one that you're currently doing. So again, for all of those watching right now, Ed is a Amazon specialist and is a Philippine product advocate. So now he's going to show you a little bit more in detail of what he's talking about, instead of just talking about it.
All right. Yep, here we go. So here's one example of, in my opinion, would be, I just say, not very marketable here because I look at a bunch of product. We call this product listing, product detail page. That's the Amazon lingo. And this is a Dato Puti vinegar and soy sauce combo. This is a very popular product. And I'm going to show you how many units it sells just here in America. And but what's missing is like it doesn't have a lot of images. And again, I'm just going to harp back on that again, that feeling that if you're a customer and you're not familiar to this brand, because I think a lot of people, like, you don't have to be Filipino to use vinegar. Like, you don't have to be Filipino to use soy sauce. But would they explore and try this? Let's say they had like a Filipino coworker. Hey, try the Dato Puti soy sauce and vinegar. That's my family's been using it for decades. Would they try it if this is all they saw? It's hard to convince them because this product detail page is not very ideal and not, I call it not optimized. And I'm going to share with you how much it's, here we go. So this product for the last 30 days, it's selling 135 units and it's generated a little bit over $2,000 in sales. All right. So if there's a competitor for Dato Puti, please come out. Okay. All right. The next one I'm going to share is, here we go, the infamous Lucky Me Pancit Canton. I love this thing, man. I can eat this every night. The problem is, again, this has competitors from other Southeast or Asian regions, like a chow mein, like an instant chow mein. In my opinion, I think the flavor profile of our Pancit Canton is a lot better. But that's just me. I don't know if it's the MSG, but I'm not sure. But over here, it only has one image. So again, unless you know the brand, what the heck? You don't know anything else about this product. Okay. And you can read reviews right here, but again, it's very limited. And I'll show you, because of the lack of, I would say, details about the product, it's not getting a lot of sales. And for this Lucky Me, it's generating about $2,500 in sales every month. So it's selling 85 units. In my opinion, that's very small. They can do way better. Yeah.
Can I just interject there really quick? And I know I promised myself I wouldn't do it, but you just made me open up my eyes a little bit, because at the end, I've seen Dato Puti, and that's like a traditional product in the Philippines, and the one that you're showing that. But this is the first time that I've actually really looked at it, and I said to myself, if I didn't know that was with the words and everything, I probably wouldn't buy it, honestly. Not because it's not good. It is, right? It's traditional. But you're absolutely right. For a non-Filipino, if the purpose is to sell it to Filipinos, it's great, right? Especially, because you're probably grown up with it or whatever, but some of them are rediscovering it. And also the thing that what people gotta understand is that when you see a brand like this, it's almost like, because of the way you broke down the packaging, that's probably why nobody would touch it, except if somebody said, well, yeah, that's Filipino, and somebody else would sort of help it along. But to stand on its own and say this is a great product, I see it now, what you're saying. Anyway, I said I would just chime in and just really say that real quick.
Oh no, that's the message I'm just trying to convey here. And so we're done with the Filipino products. We're gonna hop in, and I'm going to show you the opportunity, and this is in real time today, October 5th. All right, this is Snapdragon. I think this might be an American brand, but this is Asian inspired or Japanese inspired, because it's a ramen. It's a miso ramen. I think that's a Japanese noodle. Anyway, but I wanted to show you is look at their pictures. Very nice, and they have a bunch of other pictures here that just makes this thing very delicious. So I don't care if it's a Japanese product or Asian product. It doesn't matter. It just looks yummy. Am I gonna buy it? I might buy it. And this thing is selling 4,400 units a month, and look at that revenue, almost $88,000. That is crazy, and that's just in 30 days. So you multiply it in a year. That's massive. And the last one I want to show you is this one, and this one's only it's noodles, okay. But again, they have a nice photo. They have all this cooking instructions, all of this. I think this is actually minimal. But anyway, this is a product, I think, from China. but they're selling 13,000 units a month. And look at that revenue. They're making $280,000 a month. That's crazy just for noodles. And so that's pretty much the opportunity that is here. And that's what's possible. That's what's possible. There's a bunch of other brands. But yeah, I'll pass it on to you, Ferdinand.
Well, at the end, just to recap that, you've shown a couple of things. Whoever's watching this, we're talking about the packaging, because the Datu Putis of the world and Lucky Me, they're all good. I've had them, obviously. But it's just something that from another angle or another perspective, yes, that's probably the only thing that I would try to ask Datu Puti if their game plan is to really just focus on the Philippines and have it really word of mouth, or would they want like a Datu Puti be sold in a mainstream like a Ralph's or Bonds or Whole Foods or anything like that, right? If that's what they want to do, because the branding has somewhat been consistent. And again, I don't know, maybe that's what they like. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you from a consumer's perspective that's probably the first time I've ever looked at Datu Puti this way, in this manner. And that's why I agree with you. And you've shown that. And the numbers also, those are staggering numbers for anybody who because the way I see it, any up and coming brand that's in the noodles or vinegar, in which I know some. By the way, I need to introduce you to Alan Poison of Saint C. He's going to be amazing, because I think it can go against, be up there with the shelves and all of that. I'll tell you more about him. But let's go ahead and go into the next segment. But before we get into the next segment, let's go ahead and take a quick little break. And I want to go ahead and be able to acknowledge a good friend of mine. He runs a coffee shop, 2 coffee shops in the city, in Southern California. I love what he's doing with Philippine coffee. He is he's got so much energy, just like you and me, but he's all about coffee. So let me go ahead and give some respect, some acknowledgement to my friend Ron Dizon.
Hi, my name is Ron, and this is Teofilo Coffee Company. Where we drink coffee black.
All right, we are in the home stretch of our show. And for those who've stuck around, we love you, even though we only get like probably 3 viewers. So I'm saying that because I'm excited to the content that we're delivering here, because we're trying to empower Philippine manufacturers to think about the U.S. market. And then we're trying to let the U.S. market say, hey, man, I didn't know Philippines have that product. Hey, I want to bring Philippine-made products in the U.S. That's actually what we're just trying to do. So if you're watching this, please share the content so that people will do all that. Now, what's the bigger picture? Why are we doing that? Well, of course, we want to make money too. That's what we do. We're a marketing company. We're a sourcing company. We empower a lot of people. We create awareness and sales opportunities. So of course, we're doing that. But at the end of the day, you sell something and it helps people in the Philippines create livelihood, but it also uplifts the economy. And to me, it's not about just being Philippines. I want to sell it. And the same thing with Ed. What he's trying to tell you is, let's talk about the people in the Philippines, the brands in the Philippines that are aspiring to go beyond Philippines, aspiring because they know their product is amazing, but maybe they just need a little guidance. And that's why we have Ed and Emporium here to tell you that. So if you're watching right now, please share the content, because that's what we do. We just try to create these awareness and sales opportunity. So let me bring back my good friend Ed here to tell you about his offer to Philippine brands right now. And then, some of our parting comments, because our last segment. So let me go ahead and bring back Ed Santos of Bench Trading. I always do that. Bench Trading Post. You would think it's right in front of me. I would just be able to read it. But Bench Trading Post, Ed Santos.
Hey guys, welcome back.
So we are bringing it home, my friend. So again, let's recap. We talked about you, how amazing you are, what you've been doing. Second, we've been talking about the challenges of Philippine-made products in the U.S. and then the opportunities. And we showed them some numbers. Hopefully, whoever was around saw the numbers and the potential for Philippine-made products and how amazing Amazon is. So why don't we take these last few minutes, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And again, I welcome all of you to chime in, tell us where you're watching from, and if you have any questions for Ed, please do that. We did have some questions. Maybe I'll just put it up. Okay, I'll put up the question.
Sure.
Okay, so the first one, there's a gentleman by the name of Sean. I don't know if you know who he is, if you got a fan club or something, but Sean he says U.S. California, and then the second question. I don't know what his tonation on this question, but he looks like he might be interested in some Filipino products, right? So can you show us some products you worked on, Ed, and their store, and what products are good to sell that are Filipino products?
Can you show us some products you worked on and their store? So I think he's talking about particular products in Amazon, and Amazon can also have a kind of like an emporium, like a storefront. They call it a storefront, so you can feature all your products virtually. I have some NDA that I signed that I can't share products in particular, but like my contact info will be at the last slide, Sean. If you're still here, you're more than welcome to contact me, and then we can just do some email correspondence. And I'd love to show you some of the information that you're asking for. The second question: what products are good to sell that are Filipino products? In Amazon, there's data that you're able to read, and it's going to it's publicly available. They call it the bestseller rank. Number one would be it's selling every second. And as you go higher in the rank, then it gets lousier. So the lower the rank, the more it sells. It sells like hotcakes if it's ranked number one. And so that's how anyone can be able to gauge I call it velocity, the velocity of how a product would sell. The ones and this is what's going on. And I'll just make this quick. And this is what's going on. A lot of the branded Filipino products, I call them the legacy, the good old OG brands, the Lucky Me, the ones that I showed here. A lot of them have brand recognition, and that's similar in any country. A lot of classic brands, right? And so what's happening though is that they don't realize that just with what they're doing, they're being stagnant. They're not growing, and I don't know if they're fine with that. But as a business, like for example, you go to a grocery store, you have a brand new, you have a contract with a nice big grocery store, right? Okay, we'll put it in our shelves. Now you have to negotiate. Hey, I want it in the corner aisle. All right, I don't want it on the bottom shelf. I don't want it anywhere. I don't want it in the back. I want it in the corner aisle where everyone in the store will see it. Well, guess what? That's what I specialize on in Amazon. All right, because I would say 100%, if not 99% of them, of all Amazon customers, only kind of focus their attention on, like, I think page one. All right. If you search on something, okay, we got a guilty one. All right. So now how are you going to showcase your product to show up on right where Ferdinand's eyeball is, if he's your ideal customer? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you be on that showcase aisle. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to the last question, or one of the questions that I have, because we're running out of time. So let me go ahead and So let's go ahead and do this question. How about exclusivity of the product? I'm not sure. By the way, Sean, thank you for the question. Okay. One, I appreciate that. We all appreciate that. And second, Romel Ragas. Romel, your question was, how about exclusivity of the product? How do you take that?
That's a little vague, but in regards with exclusivity, Amazon, all the brands in Amazon that they're able to protect are registered through the U.S. Patent Office. And I know there's agreements between countries' patent offices that, for example, if a U.S. Patent Office has an agreement with the Philippine Patent Office and your brand has a patent in the Philippines, copyright, or just your brand name, you're able to carry that in the U.S. Now, I'm not a patent expert. I can help you find resources for that. But if that's your question, that would be my answer.
Romel, Romel, Ed, I think it could be also, maybe he's a manufacturer. He's asking about exclusivity. But at the end, I deal a lot with those questions. If he is a manufacturer, Romel, if you are a manufacturer, there are going to be a point where if we're going, with me, I will ask for an exclusivity at a certain amount of time, but I don't, if you want to talk in detail, I can tell you how long. But someone like Ed, I can't speak for him, but sometimes when they work on a product on a brand on Amazon, that's going to be something that they probably might ask because they're going to do a lot of work in trying to promote your product. So that could be it. I don't know, Romel, if you're still watching, let us know if you're asking from a perspective of a manufacturer. If you're asking, if we're going to ask for exclusivity, or if you're a supplier or you're a buyer and you want to ask exclusivity from the Philippine manufacturer. Yeah, that's something that sometimes, depending on what your intentions are, they might be able to give it to you at a limited area. I'm not a big fan of exclusivity. I'm a big fan of actually showing them I'm selling it. Because it's such a big market, whether you can show them you're amazing, that's great. But maybe Ed, you do that. I mean, do you do any sort of exclusivity?
So the only exclusivity we're in business, everything's negotiable. But the only exclusivity is like I'm able to create a document that the exclusivity only exists in Amazon, and that's it. If they sell on eBay, if they sell on the other online marketplaces, I do not care. If they sell through their other distributors, like through retail stores, doesn't matter. Only in Amazon. So,
all right, man. So we're almost there now. I want to spend, even though we went over here, I want to spend at least 5 more minutes about your offer to the Philippine manufacturers, because we're going to mention it. We're going to put it in my Facebook page, my Instagram, my TikTok, whatever. I'm going to promote what you're about to say. So hopefully, if you guys are watching and you're a Philippine manufacturer, please pay attention to what he's saying, because he's actually going to try to see if we can make something happen. And hey, listen up to Mr. Ed Santos here.
All right, let's see that last slide. And here you go. All right, how much will it cost you? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. It will cost you nothing. You see that big for free right there on the bottom? I'm going to read this to you. So in keeping with Emporium's mission to drive more awareness and opportunities for Philippine brands and manufacturers, we are giving away our accelerated Amazon launch program. It's a very short sentence, but what that means is that we will bring your product here and we will market it in Amazon. There's going to be contingencies and conditions because I'll be honest. I want to see a successful like Philippine product here, and we do have we look for quality. We look for also like we can share all those details in the future. But what I'm just saying is we're putting our best foot forward so we can launch a brand, so we can share your story to other aspiring brands and manufacturers from the Philippines that hey, we're not all fluff. Like we know what we're talking about. But in order to do that, we need a partnership from you. And so with that, this is our offer, and this is a $10,000 value. It takes a lot of work to bring a product here and make it successful. It takes a lot of work also to even like launch like any brand from the Philippines and bring it here, right, Ferdinand? And just to be sold in Seafood City, and it's
I want to make a comment before you continue. I'll let you end it and we'll just say bye. I want to put something in perspective. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching it in YouTube or whatever, hopefully you stuck by this and watched this. But I know for a fact there's a lot of companies that are based in the Philippines that are selling the service. Okay, they're selling the service, promising the Philippine manufacturers that they're able to get them in Amazon. And no, you're not going to hear me talk crap about them or anything like that. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, the difference between what Ed is doing and what Emporium is doing is that we're here in the U.S. We're constantly at the pulse of everything that's happening, Ed, especially in the U.S. market and online world. Me, little old me, I'm just all about Northern California, Southern California, Nevada, and trying to understand that market. I never tell anybody I'm amazing. We're this humongous player. But what we are doing is we're being consistent. We're being thoughtful in who we collaborate with, so that whatever client or customer that we deal with or brand, we know that we can deliver on that. And so what I'm saying to you is that the value of what Ed has just stated to you, if you already are interested in Amazon, you might want to consider it, because I know that there are, like I said, other companies offering the same thing and they're charging X amount of dollars. But the difference is that we're all that and more because we're here. That's the big difference, honestly. And so that's why I wanted to just sort of make that point. And with that being said, Ed, I'll let you speak your mind. Let's end it with this, and then we'll continue to post it. We hope that you're watching this and you're going, yeah, I want to ask Ed. Please ask him for a consultation. Just ask him for details. So we're not just blowing smoke here, and just talk to him, because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do here is forget this to get this interaction from all of you and see if we can be of help to you. And he said the magic word, right, Ed? It's free.
Yeah, it's for free. I don't know. That's pretty self-explanatory, and I think it's a very good opportunity. I think it's a win-win for everyone that's gonna be involved. I'm actually like really excited. The reason that it's this much of a value is because it's going to cost us a lot of time and resources, me and Ferdinand's time. And
we just want to. Well, you have to do the disclosure that you're not representing Amazon. Okay, that's the thing that we forgot to say.
Yeah, so let me just say that from here. I am not an employee of Amazon. We're not representing Amazon. We're not selling you Amazon services. We're selling you our expertise so we can launch your product in Amazon's marketplace.
Yep. So we're like a concierge, more so Ed. He's a specialist. I just happen to be shadowing him as far as the knowledge when it comes to that. When it comes to his knowledge about Amazon, I'm just like that little kid too. Hey, what's next, Ed? I mean, what can we do here? This sounds really good. That's me. But what I don't want to downplay what Emporium is doing. This is exactly what I'm saying. I invite all of the people out there, the professional, just like Ed, that are trying to create awareness. Let's all, collaborate and put that together, because there's a lot of products in the Philippines that need to be marketed. Not just because of the Philippines. I want to promote I don't want to promote Philippine products. I want to promote global quality that just happens to be Filipino. That's my thing. And that's the same thing with Ed. So with that being said, Ed, is there anything else? Because I'm going to go say goodbye here at this point.
You can just put I don't know if you have the slide for my contact information.
Yeah. Hold on.
So that's my email, that's my LinkedIn, and that's my phone number. That's pretty transparent. You don't have to stalk me on Facebook and find my information. Here it is. You're more than welcome. I am on Facebook too, but I just don't post on any social media. And just to go back and track back on what you were saying about other agencies that might be offering launching your products in Amazon. I looked at their Facebook and I think they posted some brands that they were selling. They say are selling in Amazon. I look for the brands and they're not there. I can't even find it. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is it's difficult to find proof in their pudding, and that's what we want to do for you. We want to show your pudding all over the world.
You want to show your pudding all over. That seemed kind of funny, Ed. I don't know. I mean, you want to show your pudding? I don't know. Anyway, all kidding aside.
Pudding, yeah.
All kidding aside, let's end our show, because I don't want to be those two guys that just keep talking and talking and talking. At the end of the day, they're going to watch this again. Right now, we're just having a good time. So let me go ahead and publicly thank Ed Santos. Ed, I'm going to ask this in public. Hopefully, you and I continue to work together. Because I feel like we have something that we need to convey this message. Just flashing your information on the screen and just having it one time, that's not going to be enough. We need to be repetitive. We need to put it in people's brains that there's a guy. I also want to have you meet a gentleman by the name of Nat and Jason. They're both also doing similar to this to a certain degree, and I want them to meet you, because you see, I have never seen. That's the one trait that I want to get out of the minds of the Filipino community. But then again, I always think that's always in other you call it heritage, or so to me, I feel like at the end of the day, everybody wants to we should all just band together and connect all of our resources to promote Philippine made products, because that's a big task to do. And that's why we got together, and I want to continue to promote that because that's what I want to do. So thank you so much, Ed Santos of Bench Trading Post, for being here. I appreciate your time, man. So hopefully, and probably, I already asked you to invite to keep continuing to do these live stream with me, and also continuing to educate in the Philippines, and also let's elevate them, empower them, and hopefully we were somewhat entertaining. I thought you were entertaining, my friend. So that's cool.
Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity, Ferdinand, and to your audience. However, how many they are, 3 or 300, it doesn't matter. I think that the information and the opportunity we're like providing and sharing is one of a kind, and like I think it's once in a lifetime, because I would say my lolo and all my older relatives, if they had the opportunity that the internet gives, I think a lot of them would jump on it too. So.
Oh yeah, all right. I definitely guarantee that. I guarantee you that at least we gained 1 because it's Amazon. So now we got 4.
All right.
I'm just amazed at the fact that I could say that. But all kidding aside, thank you so much for everyone who supports Emporium. You know what we're doing. Some of you are trying to figure out how to interact with us, but continue to watch. We are actually trying to do more seminars on how to source, ship, and sell Philippine-made products, and we continue to promote different types of products, from coffee to clothing to furniture, and Ed over here is going to help us. So with that being said, let me see if there's another message. Sean said thank you. We'll end with the thank you, okay, Ed?
Oh yeah, thank you too.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who's watched us. All right, take care, guys, and have a good rest of the week, and a happy Friday Eve.
All right.